Yo, guys, it is Old Man G here back again. I'm joined again by Josh, and we're here again for a weekly Red Gunners Red Gunners podcast, obviously a joint Manchester United Arsenal show. Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, United X, and smash the notification button for latest Manchester United news. Josh, how are you doing?
Not too bad. It's been a okay week.
Good. Well, with the news of another lockdown, looks like there's probably going to be a lot more of this type of stuff going on, at least for the next, month and a bit or so. So, for everyone who's obviously be watching from home, remember to sort of stay safe and just take care of yourself. So, hopefully, we can provide you with some quality content as we go forward. And please, make sure you get involved in the comments. Whether that's live or in the comments, give us your feedback, what you want to cover, etc. Maybe if it's not just podcasty stuff, maybe a Q&A or even just suggestions on versus or comparison targets. Let us know and we'll see what we can give for you guys. And Abdul G says, like that vid. Thank you very much. Exactly. Like the vid. I always have to forget, like the vid, like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, and even consider becoming a member. It sort of goes a long way. So let's get straight into our first topic of that, and that is Arsenal rising. Arsenal rising. Brilliant win against West Brom. 4-0, I think it was. Emil Smith-Rowe, Lacazette, Aubameyang even coming on and getting involved in the action. Saka having a great performance. And suddenly, if we look at the table, and I'll bring up the table later, Arsenal are in almost the form of Arsenal and Chelsea is completely reversed. And suddenly Arsenal's form is quite good. Now only 3 points behind Chelsea, who failed to beat City of the weekend. And suddenly, going into the January transfer window, where Arteta was pretty much 21 incoming, says Basilid Ali. Fingers crossed, Chief. Fingers crossed. We're going to come to that. We're going to be talking about Arsenal fun, but we are coming to that. It's going to be our second topic. We're going to come to that. As an Arsenal fan, Josh, are things looking good? Because as you obviously you were very vocal about Arteta's good on Arteta out, but now obviously that we're going into a transfer window, when a January transfer window is there, do you think he's going to stay? Do you think he's going to be back? Are Arsenal now in a better position?
I said Arteta out if he continues to keep playing the same players, such as the Willians, the Mustafis, maybe David Luiz's, etc. And I still feel like because there are a lot of flip-flop fans who are now saying, "Oh yeah, we're doing so well now, like Arteta in." However, whose fault was it to play Willian for the first 8 games of the season or whatever? You know, whose fault was it to play without a playmaker? You know, Kevin, he might think he's a bit like Pep, but Kevin De Bruyne is a playmaker who doesn't have a fixed position. He can play right midfield. He played centre forward against Chelsea. He can play 10. He can play 8. He can play defensive midfield. He can play left mid, you know. So I feel like he's trying to be some kind of Pep regen. And look what he's done now, because he's had to. It's not because of him. It's not because of his tactics or whatever. He's had to play with a number 10. He's had to play the youngsters because he's been forced to, and he's been like, oh, well, if I get sacked, like, at least I've got given the youngsters time and they can say that I've done that. So it's not on me. And Smith Rowe comes in and we haven't lost a game since he's come in the Premiership. 3 games, 3 wins. Pablo Mari's just been sitting on the bench. I don't know why, because he's been solid since he's come in. Kieran Tierney's being played as left back now. Like, that just feels like a no-brainer. He's one of the best left backs in the league, and you're playing him at left centre back. That's just a waste. You know? And so at the end of the day, people saying, "Oh, the squad's not good enough. The squad's not good enough," but we didn't have to spend 200 million. With the players you see in this picture, there's a better picture. There's a better picture with Saka, Smith Rowe, Tierney, and Martinelli. They all cost 31 million between them. That's how much they're worth. All four of them between them. And that's the difference. When people aren't stepping up, you bring in the youngsters. That's what Wenger did. That's what Alex Ferguson would probably do.
Yeah,
pulling your weight. Get out of here, man. He's not going to continue. Would he continue playing Aubameyang if he's only got 2 goals in how many games? He's like, come on, man. Let me get Luis Zaha on, or let me get Andy Cole on instead of such and such. You're not pulling your weight. And so I still feel like he has to be held accountable for the first part of the season. Because let's be honest, the only thing that has changed really is Smith Rowe. And even though he's very... Martinelli, of course. And obviously he's good, but that's just playing with a number 10. Arsenal have always played with a number 10. When do you remember Arsenal not playing without a playmaker? Can you tell me?
I can't remember, but unfortunately, what I've noticed is that Arsenal seems to do a good job of selling their playmakers. So the players that, I think, I can't remember. I think it was maybe Kelechi or something that was saying about the fact that every season, although people say they're not good enough, but they still seem to be selling them, not replacing them. So they let Aaron Ramsey go. Well, you argue Sanchez was similar in terms of creating. Okay, so he went. Then they let Ramsey go, who again creates a lot of chances. Then they let Iwobi go, who again creates quite a lot of chances. And then they let they froze out Özil, who creates a lot of chances. So it just seems that like you freeze them out, but then have you replaced those playmakers with anybody else? No. And Abdul G says, you don't win leagues with youngsters, though. Even Monaco had quality veterans. And
we don't. There's still experienced players in the team. Pablo Mari isn't a youngster. Pablo Mari has been winning titles with Flamenco for the past how many years? He's in his late 20s. Leno's getting older. Aubameyang's had 5 consecutive seasons where he scored 20 plus goals. Lacazette is 29, I think. There's experienced players in there. It's the mix, You don't go all youngsters. That wouldn't make any sense. No. You have a mix when the oldies aren't doing it, get some of the young ones in, because then it allows people to fight for their places. What you don't do is continue to play people over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And that's what Arteta was doing. He was relying on the old experienced players, because he's like, oh, well, I can just sit back, low block, and then have the experienced players so they'll know what to do in this time. But what he doesn't realize is that other teams know how you play now. And so they're going to let you have the ball because this person isn't firing. You haven't got a playmaker, so we don't have to be worried about such and such and such. Now, all of a sudden, they're going to have to worry about movement off the ball because of a number 10. It's different kind of movement, the triangles, you see it. And then all of a sudden you have a January transfer window now. And then people are going to start being a bit scared of Arsenal because Partey's coming back. Gabriel, one of our best players, he's got to come back. All of a sudden, you've got a good squad now.
No, exactly, and I think that just to sort of segue into this, I'm obviously going to just get, this is obviously the Premier League table for everyone that can see, and I always like to go to the BBC one, and we just scroll down here. We don't have to scroll down that far. Arsenal are now 11th, so you can still see the rest of the table, so that's fair. But you look at this table, and to be honest, and this is what I've been saying for United fans to calm down, for everyone to sort of chill, is that this is actually quite a close league. There's still a lot of games to be played, and if you look at it, you wouldn't have been able to say that long ago, but Arsenal are only 3 points behind Chelsea, who are in ninth, having played the same number of games. But even if you were to think, and I still think that Arsenal have to do a lot more to even consider top four. The reality is right now, I know that there are a few games in hands being played, but just based on what we see right now, Arsenal are only 6 points from fourth, which isn't a lot. It isn't a lot at all, So my question to you, Josh, is that are Arsenal continuing to rise? Looking at that, because like I said, they're clearly not obviously getting relegated. It's not going to happen. But given their successes, I mean, if you look at their form, I think compared to I think looking at the top 11, probably the best form in the league so far is probably, ironically enough, Manchester United, 4 wins and a draw. Probably followed by...
I don't think evidence is updated because didn't they draw to somebody recently?
No, they lost to...
did they lose to West Ham?
Oh, West Ham, yeah. Then you could say the tie between Everton and City, 3 wins, draws, and something, and then probably Leicester and so on. But Arsenal's form is actually up there, whereas Chelsea's form is arguably one of the worst, with 3 draws, 1 loss, and a win, which is the reverse. So, do you see Arsenal continuing to rise up again, given the fact that, looking at the table, Arsenal are really not that far off other teams. 6 points off Southampton. You know what I mean? It's close.
Yeah, it's this is what form does to you. You start to have a bit more hope. When I watched the Brighton game, look what Brighton just did to Wolves. They probably should have won that game. To be honest, they gave away a silly penalty. If you can't cancel away that penalty, it's 3-2 to Brighton. And that's Wolves, who are quite strong. They were in the game for most of that time, Brighton against Arsenal. They dominated us in that first half. And so, but Lacazette, you see players like Lacazette have got confidence now. And I feel like Lacazette is a confidence player. He's not he's not the type of player say a Bruno, who just Bruno could have a stinker and he'll still get a goal and assist somehow. Do you know what I mean? Lacazette isn't that type of player, nor is Aubameyang. We don't have maybe Saka is probably the closest thing you could say right now to a Bruno kind of player who can drop a stinker but still affect the game. Lacazette and Aubameyang aren't those kind of players, so the fact that someone like Lacazette has confidence now. He scored in 20-something seconds when he came on against Brighton?
It was against Brighton. Yes, it was, yeah.
So it just shows you, and at the end of the day, we have a lot of confidence now. You got to think with our next run of games, we've won 2 of the ones we were supposed to win, Brighton and West Brom. Even though I don't know how the Brighton one makes sense because they beat us how many times in the last year. But we've surpassed expectations already because we were meant to lose to Chelsea. We were meant to beat West Brom, and we were meant to maybe draw or something with Brighton. So we've already got 9 from 9. And then I think we've got have we got United on the 30th?
Yes, I think you have United at the Emirates at the end of the thing, which is going to be
at the end of the month. And then we have 2 games before that, and I think one of them I forgot who, it might be Leeds or someone. But I don't know if you can get the fixtures up, but yeah. So it's you never know.
I can get indeed if you should see the league. This is the fixtures. So if we just look at Arsenal's upcoming fixtures, I think we'll run with this as we move on. So these are Arsenal fixtures. So okay, we're going to January. So here's essentially Arsenal's fixtures now, and I'm just wanting to go through. Do you think that Arsenal can basically, the squad they have, win these games? So the first one is an FA Cup tie. You're at home to Newcastle. Is that a dub?
Yeah.
Okay. Second, at home to Crystal Palace.
We struggle with Palace away, but I feel like I'd expect us to beat them at the Emirates. But that all depends if Zaha decides to spin Bellerin 20 times in one game, so we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Where am I? Okay, away to Southampton.
Yeah, that's a tough one because Danny Ings just come back, and man, he was terrorizing Liverpool.
Yeah.
And they've still got a few players to come back. I think that's going to be a tough game. I could see that being a draw.
Okay. And then obviously Manchester United at the end of January, 5:30 at the Emirates. Now,
For whatever reason, Ollie cannot beat Arsenal. I don't know why, because you guys have been notorious for beating us over the years. Ollie's juju doesn't work in the Emirates. I think that's the only thing I can describe.
I mean, maybe it's Jesse Lingard's sort of issue or something like that, or who knows, or maybe there is. But you're right. It does seem to be. I mean, I like to think that hopefully that has changed, just based on the fact that, just based solely on the fact that our away form this season has just been sort of so good. So, but I guess we've got to see what happens. So basically, Arsenal in the up. Fair enough. Okay, let's move on, guys. And thank you for those who are watching. Remember to like the vid, and to subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Now I want your thoughts as well, Josh. Three-way title race. I should share the screen. I don't know why I got that up, but well, actually I know why I got it up, because I wanted to show this. Danny Ings. Danny Ings. For a lot of United and City fans yesterday, did a madness. And I don't think, even though he scored early, I don't think anyone expected Southampton to hold on for that long, and for Liverpool to basically fail to score in their second successive game. I think it's something like 1 goal in 3 games. So they didn't score against...
They didn't score against Newcastle. They scored 1 against West Brom, and they didn't score against Southampton.
And you're thinking, geez, this is, and even the goal against Fulham, where was a penalty. It was a goal from open play. So if you just take the blip, which is the 7 goals against Crystal Palace, that everyone focuses on, all the other games, they've not necessarily been firing. And obviously, if United win and beat Burnley, which I think is next week, United go top. City, obviously, if they win their game in hand, I think they move within a point of Manchester. Their game, they win a point of Liverpool, although they have 2 games in hand. So I think that they would. Let me just look at the table again. 2 seconds. Yeah, City. So Liverpool played 7. City win 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So if City win their game in hand, they're both of their games in hand, considering the same games they played, which are Everton and Villa. They'll go ahead of Liverpool as well, but they'll be behind United in a point. So 35 points. So long story and short of it, Josh, is there a 3-way title race?
Honestly, it's anyone's game at this minute. I think. See, it's weird because Man City had this weird run of games. They drew to Leeds, then they drew to United in that time. I think they drew to West Brom, and then but then they won the rest. And it was like they had this weird run of games where people, for some reason, were discredited them. But they weren't really losing. I mean, who's beaten City this season? I can't.
Leicester.
Leicester's, and it was at 5-2. I think that's the only loss.
No, they've lost to Spurs. Mourinho, 2-0.
Yeah, flipping Mourinho, man.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
They've drawn West Brom, United, and I think there's one more that I'm thinking. I'm looking at it. Yeah. They've drawn 5. Who have they drawn 5 games to?
Leeds, West Brom,
Liverpool 4. There's one more. No, they beat Chelsea.
Drew to United, Leeds, West Brom, Liverpool, and then one more. And What was it? Wolves?
No, it wasn't Wolves. It definitely wasn't Wolves. I quickly, yeah, they drew to Liverpool. I'm going back. They drew to Liverpool. West Ham. I forgot about that completely, actually. It was West Ham. It was West Ham away.
Oh, okay.
That is strange. So yeah, so I mean, going into it, I mean that's why I'm speaking to a lot of City fans, and they're like, if they look at the January fixtures that City have, it's quite they've got thank you for joining, Alfie. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching on Twitch. That they've got a lot of easy games and should get the easy dubs. They're playing Palace, Sheffield, West Brom, etc. Alfie says, and thank you again for watching on Twitch. Do you think we will get first? As a United fan, do I think we'll get first? I think if we beat Burnley, then we'll be first. Of course we will. But if you mean at the end of the season, I think that will remain to be seen because there's just a lot of games to be played. But I just don't think that there are any guarantees right now. I think that if you think that you go into games to guarantee, then I think that's a bit naive. What I would say is that as a United fan, we at least need to be going into the games that we should win and winning. The Leicester City two drop points was a bit disappointing, but in general, we seem to be beating the teams that we should be beating. I think that's important. So what do you think about this, Josh? Do you think this is a three-way title race or what? Who's in?
Yeah, I think it's just whoever drops the least points. In my opinion, because Liverpool are pretty much only first because of draws. If they'd lost those drawn games, that would be 6 points. Because I think they've drawn 6 already, right? So
they've drawn 6, yeah.
Yeah, so Liverpool are just there by not losing, and that's not good enough. That we've already seen what happens when they just draw games instead of trying to,
I'm actually here as a City fan who I'm sure is hoping that City will. And by the way, mate, check out my City preview with Yannicka that's on the channel. But I'm sure he's gassed for that City game, and also that City will retain the title. But we'll see what happens. So I'm interrupting Josh. I think same like I have fully confidence tomorrow in Carabao Cup. I have fully confidence. I need to see the lineup. I need to see the lineup first, but we'll see. But
Ali seems to be fairly. Nah. I don't know. Ali's not the best in a cup. He seems to be good in the league, but not the cup. He seems to.
When he comes across, when it seems that he comes across a team that he's scared of or that he seems to be a lot more cautious and revert to a back 3, back 5.
Yeah, and then goes with his McTominays and the players who, the kind of what's it called? Non-flair players. Like you won't see a Pogba, I don't think, against. Do you think you'll see a Pogba against City?
I don't. I mean, why should I hope? Just check the table. I've checked the table, and last time I checked, United were ahead of City.
Yeah, that was a weird point to make.
People give Matt a stick, but I think it's very good. He's a good squad player, but I think that we've got a lot of good depth now in that area, So yeah, continue, Josh.
But yeah, it's whoever drops the least points. That's how I see it. I know that sounds really obvious, but Liverpool won't win the league if they keep drawing. Do you know what I mean? Man United won't win the league if they give up silly points. Silly points to Crystal Palace at the start of the season. What's all that about? But you've beaten. But what United normally do is beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. And that's
how you win a league, isn't it? Though.
No, that's what I'm saying. They haven't got many draws. Okay, they've lost a few. And what I like about Ali is he will go for the win. He won't go for the draw. Whereas Klopp, anyway, that's a different story. I can't believe he did that. He brought on Milner for Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I mean, Trent was bad, man. I mean,
Yeah,
to be
but
honest,
bring on Nico Williams. Nico Williams is quick. Bring on some fast player.
yeah.
Trent was shocking that game.
I am so looking forward to seeing Marcus Rashford go up against Trent at Anfield, because for me, Trent Alexander hasn't looked the same since his injury, since his comeback.
Something's not right.
It doesn't look right. So like if Klopp plays Trent at right back, Marcus Rashford is gonna have like a field day at Anfield.
Has he got another girl pregnant or something? Or like,
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But he's just not with it. He's just not with it. We need people like Rashford show up on the top. What? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I read that. City will be the top within the next 3 fixtures. Okay. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. We will see what happens. We will see what happens. Liverpool. After saying Liverpool can win without.
Yeah, you're right.
Can't win league without Van Dijk.
You're right.
I mean, you say that.
No, he's right.
But to be honest, I don't think the issue with Liverpool has been their defense.
No. I think he's right, because it's not necessarily, like you said, it's not the defense, but it takes one world-class player out the midfield. Henderson is a shocking centre back. I watched him. He doesn't. He's too. He doesn't know centre back like he does midfield. When I watched the goal,
you're gonna have to play centre back against United.
Oh no. Yeah, but I mean, it didn't seem like anyone was going for the win. Anyway, I watched the first goal and he was being so cautious. Come here, doing too many things. It's like, you don't know. Van Dijk would have never done that. But there's no way Van Dijk would have defended like that and left what's his name by himself. And so once you remove, because Thiago is great, Wijnaldum, they're very good, but they're not Henderson and they're not Fabinho. Fabinho's arguably the second best DM in the Prem on form, and Henderson, like, people still don't rate him for some reason, but he's a general. He's barking orders, but.
Well, they have Phillips though, don't they? I don't know why they benched the Phillips guy.
I think Reece Williams is better, like in terms of being able to put the ball forward, and he's quicker too. Phillips is slow, but you should have had a defender there.
I came and told you about Liverpool. Most of that was crazy. I'm telling you, we will be at the top in the next 3 fixtures or so. I don't think that you're wrong. I think I'm very surprised by Liverpool's away form. But let's be real, JD. No one was talking about United being in this position either. Like, no one was talking about United being in this position either. But we'll see. We'll see, because maybe you might be top, or maybe United might be top. You just don't know. You just don't know in this Premier League season, JD. But we'll see. Suspect Dream, good to see you, Chief. Yo, has anyone seen Klopp? Sorry. Be hella salty because he's been trash lately, and has mentioned United getting penned since Ollie joined. Like, what has Ollie done, man? Laugh my ass off. I like Southampton had injuries as well. I mean, I do think that's interesting. I think Josh, you're the one that showed me Klopp's comments after the Southampton game, and I was just kind of like, man, does United? You're playing Southampton, and you're talking about United and penalties. That's rent free. I'm sorry, that's
really weird.
Rent free.
That's really weird.
You're focusing on this game. Like, you could speak about the officials, be like, well, but United get penalties that we would good. I'm like, whoa.
I don't know why he's getting rattled so easily.
Rattled.
What happened to him?
Ollie happened to him. Ollie's
pressure. But everybody knows United get penalties. So, like, if you've been in the Premier League or know the Premier League, you know United are going to get 4 or 5 given at least. You should just know that. So it shouldn't be news to you. Like, who cares? Like, did they win the league last year from penalties? No, the penalties didn't help them win the league. So it's just, and you still got to score the penalties anyway. So
yeah, exactly, which is what people forget, So Alfie Boy Games says people say Trent's better, but I think there's different players because Arnold's better at the back than Trent, but also Trent's better in attack. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. But to be honest,
To be honest, there's fullbacks better than both of those two anyway in the league right now. Let's be honest.
Now, there are. Let's be
because Wan-Bissaka, his positioning is I don't know what's happening to him, man.
It's bad.
It's 1v1. Nobody can beat him in the league, and Trent on his day, nobody is a better passer of the ball. But arguably, I'd say Reece James has had a better season so far. And what's the other lad? Matty Cash, Villa. He's been fantastic.
He has been very good. But that's why I'm interested to see. And we're going to talk about transfers after this. So but United are potentially linked with like a Max Aarons. So we'll see. City fans. And he said, I saw Klopp made an excuse saying we had more pens than is he? I don't know. Even that's what I don't know if Klopp is. Anonymous again says. He's a madman Klopp. Exactly. It's so mad the United team that last won a trophy in 2017 still rattles Klopp. Their manager's the very successful and best Liverpool rent-free man. Like I said, how has man like Ollie rattled him? It's the pressure, as I think Joshua said. It's the pressure because, let's be real. And even with Liverpool fans, this time last season, Liverpool was because this is the thing. Liverpool have never been in this position before. At least I don't think. Were they in the season where they lost to City? Were they 8 points clear?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, fine. Okay, so but you could argue, maybe it was they lost those 8 points, but they were still. But I think they were in the Champions League, and they got the Champions League win. So, fair enough. And last season, when they were in the league, they were focused more on the Premier League. And at this point, I've seen they were 10 points clear. But this time this season, they're in a situation where it's very, very tight. It's very close. And it's not just, let's be honest, it's not just United. It's City. It's Spurs. It's Leicester. It's really not that far off. So they've not been in a situation when they're being hunted down. And it looks like they might not be able to deal with the pressure. I mean, would you disagree with that? Agree or disagree with that, Josh?
Honestly, it just feels like they relied on certain players. Van Dijk's been fit for the past 2 seasons, and the first season I think they had the best defensive record in the Prem, right? Or was it the second? I can't remember. Either way, it's been really good since Van Dijk's been there. And like I said, I know it's not just a defense, but when you take key people out of certain positions, it affects. Imagine if Bruno got injured, or imagine if Maguire got injured, because I know people don't say he's that good, but he is a leader, even though people don't like to admit it. I've heard him on the pitch, he shouts. People think being a leader is just putting a foot in or something like that, or starting on players. It's not about that. It's organizing people, keeping people's heads up, etc. And so they haven't really, let's be honest, they haven't really had a serious person injured. You know what I mean? They haven't, have they?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Aguero's been injured for how long? Company, I think Company's gone. City haven't been the same. So that's it, really. Imagine, if look at Southampton without Danny Ings. They haven't been doing that well. So key players, man. That's all it is. Key players.
No, I agree. Says I had respect for Klopp, but now Trent is the most overrated fullback ever. I think it's a bit harsh.
That's definitely harsh.
It's a bit harsh. It's a bit harsh. I mean, he will always have the classic, corner taken quickly, Origi.
Yeah. There are certain people who are system players. We have to admit that. Trent thrives in this system for the most part. Timo Werner thrives in the RB Leipzig system, the way they play. Do you know what I mean? So you have to admit some people are system players.
I don't think this comment is 100% necessarily true. Yes, he's had money, but it's money that they've made from signings. Yeah. It's not like Chelsea or thingy, so it's not really the same.
And also, I don't remember when he was at Dortmund. I don't remember him spending tons and tons of money either.
No, exactly. So I think that's a bit harsh.
That's harsh.
But Azid Ali says top top 5 minutes in the world right now? A question for both of you. That's a very good question, Buzzard.
You just want to quickly reel them off?
I mean, this is going to take some time, man, isn't it? Because
Not really. Just like from the top of your head without too much explaining.
Jeez.
And midfielders goes from anything from CDM to like right midfielder.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think this is tough, because like if you're looking at all leagues, all across the then you got to put, for me as a United fan, you got to put Bruno there. I think that you also still have to put KDB. Okay, you got to probably put Modric there still for Real Madrid. Plus or minus Casemiro, but certainly Modric is definitely there still. Because Madrid aren't the same about him. I can't really think of anyone from Barca right now, or even Juve really, that I'd rate. PSG, Verratti on his day, I would say is up there if he remains fit. Bayern,
Kimmich when he plays in midfield.
Kimmich when he plays in midfield, yeah.
He's been playing right back for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's true. When he plays midfield, Kimmich should be there, but it's not. Jeez, that's what I'm saying. I don't think this is as easy as you'd think. I mean, what are your thoughts? What do you think, Josh? Those are the things I can think of right now, off the top of my head.
KDB, Bruno, Kimmich when he plays midfield. Which is funny how you can just say like Kimmich when he plays midfield, like so he's a world-class right back and midfielder. Like, must be nice.
KDB, Zakaria, Bruno, and Didi and Kroos. Okay.
Zakaria is he's from Mönchengladbach. I don't know. I don't rate anyone from Mönchengladbach. They're too much bottle jobs. I've been watching their game.
Kimmich, Thiago, Savic, Müller. I mean, the thing about Thiago is that like I can't rate people that have been injured. Like Thiago this season has only played, I think, 2 games max. So I don't know how he could. I get he won the league, but in terms of this season so far, like I wouldn't really put him there because he just hasn't played. Even Kimmich, even like the one I said, like he actually was injured for quite some time, for like quite a long period. So is Müller a true midfielder? And
to be honest, Müller, like, nah, not right now. If we're just doing based off this year, 2020.
We're 2021 now. I'd say from the start of this season.
From the start of this season, Bruno, KDB, Kimmich. I like what's his name?
Saint Maximan. Yeah, well,
on his day. But yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think Old Man G's right. Maybe another day. I'm going to hopefully try and get Q's and A's on. So guys, we're going to hopefully do a question answer podcast shows and stuff where if you either tweet me beforehand or post in the comments or community tab, get your questions in so we can actually do just a full question, just answering your questions and just doing that. So and your thought, I think it's another question. Your thought on Lampard screwing up with literally spending 200 million. A gullible Chelsea fan would say Lampard for the W and would still say they need another 200 million and they're winning the table. So your question is, what are your thoughts on Lampard, basically? I don't think they're in the title race. What are your thoughts, Josh, before we quickly move on? I mean,
to that topic of
they were out of the title race when they couldn't beat anyone in the top 13 a couple of weeks ago. So. Like, you're not a serious team if you can't beat anyone in the top 13, let's be honest. And then you're drawing to West Brom. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I understand people.
West Brom. Well, you said drawing. Liverpool and City drew to West Brom.
Yeah, but Chelsea were down 3-0 at half time.
Yeah,
if you remember. So, I know what you mean, but I think it's like the manner.
Yeah. I do agree. I keep forgetting they did draw, but you're right. They were down 3-0. And it's funny because, like, people more, like, I was telling people at the time, like, people forgot that. I saw Chelsea fans celebrating that. And I was kind of like, You guys are more annoyed about the Arsenal result and even the City result. That's why you're out. But you weren't annoyed that you conceded 3 goals in the first half against the team in the bottom 3. That didn't annoy you?
And then
that wasn't the warning flag?
When Arsenal beat West Brom 4-0, they said it's only West Brom. I was like, but you literally conceded 3 goals and couldn't beat them.
Yeah.
So at least we beat them convincingly. So it can't be only West Brom. If it was only West Brom, you would have won. Forget it, Chelsea fans, man. Forget those guys. It's not even worth wasting breath on whoever asked the question.
We're getting quite a few questions in. So before I go into transfers, because I'm seeing quite a few questions, so I thought, let's address some of them because you guys are watching and I do want to acknowledge you. So let's at least the ones that at least are like relatively straightforward and fast to answer. We'll just answer some before we end with our last topic, which is just transfers. So Alfie's Boys says 3 realistic signings you would have. Well, actually, that goes into the transfers because that's actually the next topic, transfers. So 3 realistic signings you would have in January. For Arsenal, what are the realistic January transfer signings?
So there's Buendia from Norwich, who looks like in the region of 15 to 20 million plus add-ons, possibly, which is solid player for 15, 20 million. A player like that these days. So that is number 1. Number 2, I believe, is this signings or like in and out? Because arguably, I'd say getting rid of people is just as big for Arsenal right now. Honestly, because getting rid of some of the deadwood is arguably just as important for us because we actually can't get anyone in until we sell some players. Salaber's just went on loan, which I really don't know what's happening with that situation. Nobody's telling us. I don't know what they're saying. He's not ready for the Premier League. Who knows? So Buendia, Julian Brandt, and Basuma, but I know that's asking too much, but that would be an amazing January transfer. It's asking too much, of course, but that would be a very, very solid January transfer window for me. And then getting rid of Mustafis and Ozils and Kolasinac is already gone. Getting rid of some other people. And yeah.
I mean, as a United fan, on my, it's really. I don't think it's actually going to be that busy. It's going to be quite quiet because obviously we've got United and we've got a lot of depth. In terms of outgoings, Marcus Rojo looks like he's going to Boca Juniors, so that's good because that's one of the sort of last piece of deadwood left. Now it's just a question of getting Phil Jones out, but he's just injured all the time, so he's just a necessary evil at this point. So really, there's not that much. I think there's rumors. I think Brandon Williams is potentially going out on loan. Dan James might. So there's really not a lot of what I would call deadwood left. Mata for me is still a good squad player to have. So that's good. So in terms of incomings, really, I wouldn't even say 3 because Gallo is probably going to go at the end of the month. We've already got Cavani. So that forward isn't an issue, and we've extended his contract. So the only areas really are centre back and, in my opinion, right back, because I think Wan-Bissaka needs competition. We're also getting there's also the CDM situation with this Casido character, Amid Diallo as a right winger, who a lot of United fans are saying, oh, he's going to be in the under 23s, he's going to be. But for me, he's been bought to basically come into the first team. Like, you don't spend £37 million on a player to just put him in the under 23s.
Well, that's what Arteta did.
Well, I mean, we almost did the opposite. Like Daniel James, we spent 12 million on him, and we thought, okay, he was going to be in the 23s, and he was put in the first team. So
yeah, I don't know about that one.
I'd be very surprised if Amad Diallo was now put. You spent almost double, probably triple the amount on him to play on the right wing, because he's actually a right winger. For him to be in reserves, I think that's strange. So I would expect that Daniel James will go out on loan because of that. Amad Diallo will be an actual right winger to probably give Greenwood some competition. Who's going to play there? That's pretty much confirmed. Caicedo as a DM, youngster, 19-year-old Colombian, looks good, promising. Can obviously get that deal over the boat. And then Max Aarons as a right back. And I think that's generally the business that they'll do. I'd love to see United get a centre back. I think a centre back and a right back is key. And so I would be more hyped on the Max Aarons deal and also getting a centre back. But I just don't hear the word of a centre back at all. But I think we do need one. So that's basically my thought on the transfers. If we're going to get a centre back, realistically, Alaba is an option, but his wages are too high. And we know what United are on wages, so I don't think that's going to happen unless he takes a wage cut. Upamecano, if we're going to do it, would be in the summer. And I think Bayern, if Alaba goes, are more likely to go for that. So, yeah. That's the realistic signings, I think, that'll be going in the January transfer window. And stay tuned, because I'll be posting a lot of videos, hope this week, regarding that. So, next question. Who do you think we need to sign to challenge for the title? Well, I won't answer that, actually. Josh, you give me one signing that United need to make in January to challenge for the title.
Yves Bissouma.
Okay.
Because as much as I like Matic will do a job for you, but he can't play every game. And Matic does a very good job. Let's be real. Like, I've seen him in a few games. The way he doesn't lose the ball, and he just kind of glides and he calms the game down a bit. Reminds of like Michael Carrick when he got older. Just calms the game down. Like, he's no pace there, but just calms the game down completely. Exactly, suspect dream, my man. But Bissouma, just because he matches the energy. You guys have Fred. McTominay's okay, but I don't think, I think Bissouma would replace him straight away. Those high intensity players. McTominay's okay, but he's kind of, I see him as a bit weak sometimes, a bit labored in possession. He's good, but I think he's more of a squad player than a starter, McTominay. So I think Bissouma could take you to the next level, kind of thing.
Fair enough. Other boy says Wendell from, I think that's from SP. Wendell from
Sporting,
SP.
is that Sporting Lisbon, maybe?
I would have thought it, but that'd be SL, wouldn't it? Wendell from SP would be good for Arsenal.
The only Wendell I know plays for Sporting, but that's the only person I can think of.
Yeah.
There's one that plays for Bayern Munich. Wendell, SP.
I think it's Sporting, isn't it?
Sporting, or what do you call it? But yeah, so that would be mine anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, it's Sporting.
For Arsenal?
Williams needs a loan. He will get no play from Tellez and Shaw. I would only have one signing, Pau Torres. Fair enough. Yeah, no, I think that's a good one as well. I just think that the board, the impression I get is that it seems to be young players, with the possible exception of, and even Max Aarons is young. I don't see any really established players coming in January, at least not until the summer anyway. But according to Ed Woodward, he's ready to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with the money that he needs to charge for a title, no problem. Whether that will materialize or not remains to be seen. Sorry, you were going to say something, Josh.
No, it's fine.
Does anyone? So first, just last couple of 5 minutes. If anyone has any questions, get involved in the comments. If you have any questions for me and Josh regarding United and Arsenal Football Club for the Red Gunners podcast, remember to like the vid, share and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Keep that engagement, Arch. Get engaged, get involved, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm, and gets more people drawn to this channel. And hopefully, we can grow in 2021 and get on the road to 3K subscribers, because we're getting close. We're getting close. Matt Cairns of Championship, and that's for like 20 million Championship, because we haven't enough of them. So you're saying no for Max Aarons? I was thinking that's what you meant. I'll go to YouTube after the stream. Yes, please do go to YouTube after the stream. If you want to subscribe to the channel, post a comment, etc. All these things help with the algorithm on YouTube in particular, but I'm aware that people watching on Twitch and Facebook. So shout out to you guys on there. I'm hoping to do a lot more content for certainly for Twitch going forward with live streams, whether that's games or watch-alongs, and trying to get that on Twitch and get that Twitch community going. So it's just going to take me a while to get sorted, but that is something that we're going to hopefully push on with this year. So does anyone have any questions? If no one has any questions, thanks everyone again for watching. Remember, if you're new to the channel, remember to like, subscribe. Thank you, Josh, for coming on as always. Stay tuned for next week. Or possibly the week after, because I think it's FA Cup League sort of time. So I don't think there'll be a lot of league football going on. Get involved. Let us know your suggestions. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.
Peace.